Alright guys, so this is a video I've been meaning to get out for a long time and keep slacking on it. Finally just going to put it out. Might be some little errors here and there, but I wanted to get it out before Doom 1.1 is gone. And we're looking at the boss fights. And we're looking at the boss fights in the middle lane. So unfortunately it is going to be the tech mini-boss. But the tech boss is the second hardest node in the raid, so hopefully I'll be able to jump a lane at some point, do that, and I'll throw it up as a one-off. So you see here, this is the tech team I use for the tech mini-boss. Obviously, I have them a little bit stronger now, probably from some blue ISOs, as opposed to when this was recorded. What you want to do is you want to open up with Kestrel Special onto the Psylocke. And you want to do that on the regular node too, so that it's going to hit the Doom and you're going to get to do a bunch of things. So you see, because of those defense downs, I'm going to Doom ult now. I'm going to clear this first wave, no problem. Then Kestrel's going to get a bunch of turns. She gets her special back up. We just get to rock and roll. Now, if this was the real tech node, I'm subbing out Falcon for Nebula. And maybe even Doc Ock for Shuri. Though the slow from Doc Ock's basic is very useful. So you kind of have to make that choice as you go. But Nebula is definitely somebody you want in here for all the vulnerables that she's going to put out. Probably going to have her at level 3 blue ISO. Skirmisher, obviously, and that's how that works. So that's, my opinion, the best way to tackle that node, but I haven't done it firsthand. I've done it on the regular difficulty, so I don't want to speak too much to it because I don't want to give bad information. But so the second wave drops in, I do the same thing. I Kestrel Special on Rescue and Falcon because of the two voice crack, 2 priority targets I want to get down, so I get defense down on both of them, and at the same time I use Doc Ock Basic to put a slow on Psylocke, so she's not going to throw the buffs back at me, and I'm going to have time to beat up these characters that I wanted dead. Both Rescue and Falcon go down before they do a single thing, which is great. I did get a vulnerable on the Black Bolt at one point, so I rewound him with Ghost, and then we go from there. So I could have at one point used the Doombot to throw a Disrupt on the crossbones and not get stuck behind him like this. But because this is the end of the node, there's not much damage left. I'm not too worried about things, especially now that Black Bolt's down. This is a wrap, so didn't need to finesse it at that point, just get through it. There you go. So we're just going to finish off this Psylocke. Should have basic there. Doombot will pay for it. Oh well. There she goes. So we're going to do these in order. So next up is Mystic. And for Mystic, I am using the new team. I'm using Deathpool, Thanos, Ebony. So that's my energy battery, my support. And then I'm using Silver Surfer and Doom. And I'm energy feeding Silver Surfer and Ebony straight up the middle. Now for this boss node, it doesn't quite matter what you do with the Thanos taunt because of Deathpool's passive, where she gives a bunch of speed to Mystic allies, but it is important to get the ability block on Squirrel Girl. So I'm actually going to spread the ability block just in case things don't go my way, but you could probably skip on that. Could have one-shot the Doom right there, but... And I am going to eventually use my ult on the Doom here, for no other reason than I like to see the big numbers, but you don't need to kill Doom with that ability when you have the 5 charges. It's almost better to save it because, as you see here, my Doom's about to ult. He's already in the yellow. I'm going to get a bunch of turns with Silver Surfer. So now he has defense down as well. And we're going to take the Lux route so she doesn't ult. We don't want that offense down. Fine. But Doom still has 2 turns of ability block. His summons would just feed us more energy. I could have left him, and what I could have done with Deathpool's ult is I could have used it on Ghost Rider, Invisible Woman, the second Squirrel Girl, the second Electro. Make this node so much easier. With that said, this is fun. 10 million damage. Fun to see. I just like doing that. And this node really isn't that difficult if you have a fully decked out Doom, fully decked out Silver Surfer, and the other 3, they're just there for their mechanics, so you don't need them super duper big. But you know, the bigger the better. So as you see, we're just getting energy. It's just flowing and flowing and flowing. So I have enough to put ability block on Invisible Woman, so she's not going to get to use her ult, give us offense down, and barrier everybody. Doom's about to have his ult back up. We'll see if he gets 1 energy here. I do think he got an energy there. Kind of hard to tell on ×3. We'll find out soon enough. Here, Elsas are actually very dangerous here. So I want to get Disrupt on them, so they're not going to be able to get offense up if they do take their ult. and I want to get defense down on them, and obviously I target the middle Elsa, so as much defense down as possible gets out there. But we want to take these Elsas out ASAP. So this is some pretty big damage on the ult here, so I go ahead and throw that on the Ghost Rider. He does a lot of damage, and we did get Doom ult back up, so we're going to do a bunch of damage here. We're going to make sure we take out this Elsa over here with the defense down. So Vulture dropped, nobody else dropped, so we didn't get that much energy from it, but Silver Surfer, he's pretty much ready to go. So we do have a ability block we could throw out, but I want to save it for Squirrel Girl. Now I'm a Squirrel Girl and Electro drop in. You might think you're safe here, you might think I got this in the bag, I'm definitely going to win this. Squirrel Girl can mess everything up if she's able to get that special off, so make sure you have abilities up to control her the second she drops in. So there she is, and there's the Electro as well. I don't want to get hit by that ult and get offense down. But Silver Surfer, he's up and running, right? He already got his speed train going. So he goes again very quickly. Put the ability block on Squirrel Girl. And Deathpool might actually even be able to spread that ability block. She can. I don't know if we're going to do that or not. Yeah, we do spread it. So now we're not worried about Electro. We're not worried about anything, really. So let's go over here. We take out the Venom. Deathpool's passive takes out the Elsa. And now it's just these two. And we're definitely not worried about this. So this is a very convincing win. And I love this team. I love the double battery. And just a quick talk on Cloak right now. He's the only one in the game as of right now. I have used him in this node. His kit doesn't mesh as well as, say, Ebony Maw, who I guess you'd want to replace, or even Silver Surfer. You definitely want Doom. You definitely want Thanos and Deathpool to get those batteries going. I do think he'll probably be needed in Doom 2, so I'm still building him up all the way. I don't want to suggest not building him. But for Doom 1.1, I think there are actually better options than what Cloak and Dagger are going to provide. So here you go. We'll get a second or third Doom ult out for fun. Almost a minute left on the clock, so that's a pretty good win. Very much like that team. And obviously my team's pretty big. Next we got the Mutant, and unfortunately I have to 2-tap it. I do use the Astonishing X-Men. If you have your X Factor built up with Sinister, this can be one-shot if you get the double long shot, hit auto, but you still got to be able to get through the Doom fast enough. But with the Astonishing X-Men, this is my strategy. I've gotten as much as 3 enemies remaining, and I think if I got them all to ISO Blue level 3 and filled up the 2 last gold stars on Kitty and Bishop, I do think I'd be able to one-shot this, and if I get that done, I will of course upload that in the future. But with this, we got a ton of Doom out. Squirrel Girl will get her special off, but you see some of the damage lingers. We're not going to get offense up, unfortunately, because of that disrupt. But here's a very important part. Squirrel Girl, we're going to stun her, because if we stun Doom, he's just going to ignore it. It turns into a slow. The turn meter rewind wouldn't have done as much to him because he had just taken his turn, but we get the turn meter rewind on Squirrel Girl. We stun her, so we don't have to worry about that offense up on her second turn. Then we turn back to Doom, and we let loose on Doom. We really got to beat him up. I get a stun over on Shatterstar just so I don't get the defense down that he's about to put out there. And now we're going to Jubilee Special and do a bunch of damage to Doom because I do get offense up on all my characters here. One more tap and he'll be done. So unfortunately that blind stopped my Bishop from ending him, but here Beast will go in and finish it. Now, you have an option here. Had my Bishop not been blinded for whatever reason and I took Doom out, maybe I would have turned to the Dad Bros, used the Beast basic to flip those defense ups into defense downs and take out them because their animations are super long. But that didn't happen on this attempt, so instead I turned to the Emma and the Squirrel Girl. I take them out, then I no longer have to worry about their controlling effects, and this will be a bit of an easier time. So get that slow on Squirrel Girl, make sure she's as far from her ult as possible. Some big damage on the Emma here. So they're pretty much both one-shottable. There goes Emma, so we get some speed from that, that's good. And there goes Squirrel Girl, so now the next wave should drop in. It's unfortunate they didn't drop in now. When the speed bar goes over 100 on a character, it actually stalls that wave from dropping. Very unfortunate because Beast, he would have been great to flip on Zemo right away. Now we're going to have to flip in a different way. So we try and get slow on everybody. We actually do get the slow on Jessica Jones, which is great. And we get the flip from a beast assist on that immunity, which then allows Jubilee to go in and land the stun. So now we're actually looking very good. We get offense up and speed up on everybody. Go ahead and blast this Taskmaster. We want to try and peel off that offense up. Black Bolts, they don't do much damage to you. Not your Astonishing X-Men. They crush you in the tech nodes, but not in the mutant nodes. So that's really good. I should have used the stun there, but that's okay. Got some AoE damage out instead. I'm trying to play a little bit faster. I'm trying to get the one-shot going, but it's pretty difficult. Turn to Jessica Jones here. See if we can just take her out. I don't think Kitty's... Yeah, Kitty's special was actually enough, so we do get some speed from that, which is great. And now we have another special from Jubilee. This might be enough to take out Taskmaster. Looks like a little bit short. But Beast will get it done. Especially with an assist. There you go. Next, we got a big boom from Bishop coming in, so that's great. There goes Zemo. So Zemo and Taskmaster, neither of them got a turn. And that's just from pretty good RNG assists from Beast and from Kitty, stripping off buffs, making sure we get the stun on them. Great stuff there. So we took them out before they did anything, and that's a pretty tricky part of the node. And then this is the last wave with the Squirrel Girl and the Merc Lieutenant. Now, if Merc Lieutenant does get the offense up, speed up, that could cause you problems, but Squirrel Girl's cleanse is, again, the bigger threat here. Like Astonishing X-Men and Symbiotes, they have really good controlling debuffs, but if they get cleansed off and Squirrel Girl cleanses everything off, you're in trouble. So, just the amount of turns that the X-Men take is astonishing. Yes, I just did that. So Jubilee has her ult right back up again. So we go ahead and we stun the Squirrel Girl, and we're just going to take her out. The Merc Lieutenant is super duper squishy, so you could probably get through him just as quickly, but I got 20 seconds left on the clock, so I want to take out the Squirrel Girl before the next node. We'll see if we can make that happen. Alternatively, I want to leave her low enough that I can one-shot her and just feed off that speed meter in the next attempt. You see, I'm just completely ignoring the Black Bolts. They're dying just by side damage. So there goes Squirrel Girl. And now this is going to be a very easy node to clean up. So we had 5 enemies left here. I'm tempted to try the Dad Bros strategy. But honestly, I only have 4 reds on both of them. So I don't find it super... I don't know. I still don't think the damage would be there with my Dad Bros, unfortunately. So anyway, we go right back in, give ourselves some buffs with Beast, get slow on everybody. This is the cleanup, so this is super easy. The damage check on the Doom is real, so you got to make sure your Astonishing X-Men are up to that. And then you want level 5 skirmishers on your Iceman, Kitty, and Beast. You want to be able to strip off those buffs from the Zemo and from the Taskmaster. You want to be able to flip things on the Dad Bros. You definitely want to be able to flip things on Squirrel Girl, right? Because if you push her to 50%, she gets that defense up. You want to be able to strip that or flip it. So it's very important for ISO choices here, guys. And you see, I do have Striker on both Bishop and Jubilee. And I think that's very important, especially when you consider ISO Blue Level 3. I want to have 2 Strikers getting that extra 5% of their life as damage, as opposed to just Bishop. He's not going to use it as much. But I still want enough skirmisher effects that Iceman is landing his things, Kitty's landing her things, and they're doing their strips. So I like 3 skirmishers, 2 strikers, but you guys do what you feel is best for you. Make sure you're hitting that damage check on the Doom. And if you do that, at the very worst, you're going to be able to 2-tap this. Because once Doom is gone, the threats to you are very minimal. So there goes Black Bolt. Oh, one more hit. There you go. Alright, so that's the mutant one. That's a 2-tap. Next we got Bio, and Bio is also a 2-tap, guys. I'm not sure at what power you're going to need to have your symbiotes at to one-shot this. Now, I am going to bring them all up to level 3 ISO Blue. Obviously, I've been working on them, right, because they're 7k stronger than when this was recorded. I can do this reliably on a 2-shot. But it can also just randomly, one attempt can just be like, okay, well... Carnage died on spawn. Like, he just died on spawn there. Venom has died on spawn. So, as you'll see here, we want to symbiote stun Negasonic. I would have Carnage ulted Doctor Strange had he lived. And then what I would have done is I would have Anti-Venom ulted on Negasonic. But this is fine. See, we're still going to be okay. Yes, we have some ability blocks, but that's okay. I go ahead and I put offense down on Strange now. Anti-Venom goes. So we're going to go ahead and steal that offense up. Now we're going to extend on the Negasonic here. And this is important. That's why we stun the Negasonic. That is why we reround the Doctor Strange. And then we get to spread it with Venom. So this is all great. Now the Negasonic did just take a turn, so one of her stuns dropped off. If we can renew that again with another Symbiote Spider-Man special, we're going to want to do that. We get a bunch of debuffs on Ghost Rider. Now Ghost Rider is very dangerous in this matchup. The sooner you take him out, the better for sure. So we get a dodge there. That's great. And of course, the thing about Jessica Jones here, and it's very important to note this, guys, they nerfed this note a little bit in the sense that Jessica Jones opens up with her ultimate, and then she uses her basic. She does not special turn 2, so you get a little bit of breathing room to take her out. With that said, that's not a lot of breathing room, right? So Symbiote Spider-Man did land the slow when he used his ult on Negasonic, and that helped a lot to slow her down. Her next turn is going to be her ult, though, so we need to kill her before that happens. There goes Scarlet Witch, so we're going to get another wave coming in here. I want to go over here, and I want to extend that slow. So you see we're keeping Negasonic locked down. So that should be enough for Jessica Jones, but do not chance it. Go ahead and get that kill secured. You are going to have to take a hit from Ghost Rider, but that is what it is. Next up here, guys, we kind of want to stop Mordo from hitting us with heal block. We also want to stop Electro from using her ult. You can make a choice here. We can also use it on Ghost Rider. He's about to take a turn. I don't want him to ult and heal a bunch, so we'll do that. And then over here, rewound everyone over here. Now, the reason I chose to do that and not rewind Negasonic further is because, as you see her turn meter, she's very low already, and there is a limit to how far you can rewind somebody. So instead I do that. Ghost Rider drops. We got this Electro firmly in control now. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my attention over to Negasonic. Because here's the thing. The next enemy that dies is going to spawn in Squirrel Girl and Falcon. And we got to be able to take care of them. We extend that stun even further. Now Negasonic's next turn is going to be a death for her. I look for somebody with offense up. I go ahead and I steal and spread that to my symbiotes. And we are just going to town now. We get the ability block on Electro. Now that probably could have been saved. I could have just went for damage instead. But that's okay. We'll go ahead and we spread it. So now we got ability block all over the place. Start working the Colossus. And here's where I'm slow playing it because I want, when Squirrel Girl and Falcon are dropping, I want to have some cooldowns ready to just blast them. Makes the next attempt that much easier. I now notice that I have Venom ult up. So I want to kill people ASAP, get them to drop in, and spread ability block off of Electro. Now here's the thing. Electro is going to die before that happens, so I do paint myself in a corner here. I did not special there. I basic attack the Squirrel Girl. I needed to get slow on her ASAP. I got a bunch of nice debuffs on Graviton, so I'm going to spread that to everybody. So now we got slow on Falcon. That's going to let us have some breathing room here. We ult out the Negasonic. I don't want her coming in on the next attempt, so that takes care of that. We spread all this. You see, I did not use the Symbiote Spider-Man ult there. I could have used it to stop the Squirrel Girl. Either I'm going to use it on the next turn, or I'm going to save it for the next attempt to make sure that when I go in on the next fight, it's clean. So Squirrel Girl is about to use her special here and cleanse everybody. It's just a thing that is going to happen. There it goes. So now I got 30 seconds left. They just cleared all the debuffs. My best bet now is just to take as many free turns as I can get and then back out. I do not want to let Falcon use his ult, because then he's going to open up a special. That's no good. I can slow everybody here, but 20 seconds left on the clock. There's no point. Instead, let's get in whatever baby damage we can and then close out. So this is my last turn before they get a bunch of turns. I should have immediately closed the match right here. See? So now Graviton's about to take a turn. I'm just going to quit. He doesn't take a turn. I don't take any damage. We go right back in. This is now the second attempt. We got to take care of the Squirrel Girl. Because I left all my abilities up, we're going to be just fine. I rewind the big group over here as opposed to just Squirrel Girl. She's stunned anyway. Not going to steal anything because there's no buffs worth stealing right now. And instead of going Squirrel Girl, I'm going Falcon because he is going to open up with his ult. And that's kind of stinky. I don't want to deal with that. So now we do have offense down out there, so we're going to be able to steal that with anti-venom. Awesome. Yeah, we want to take Squirrel. We're not going to rely on those bleeds, guys. It's just not worth the risk. Just not worth it. There you go. So now Electro drops in. Again, we want to stop her from hitting us with that stupid ult that's going to give us offense down. But at the same time, we don't want to let Falcon do anything. So we're going to make sure that he bleeds out here. You see I use a basic again instead of prepping the special, because I'd rather the damage on him to ensure he dies. Finally, Electro, Elsa, and 2 Colossuses. This is autoplay time. I think I'm going to play most of it out anyway, but be warned, these Colossus will take you about 2 minutes to get through. They are stupidly tanky. Stupidly tanky. Because they're so slow, and you're going to put slow on them as well, it takes them a long time to feel your bleeds. So you see I opt to use the ability block instead of the spread from Elsa, because I just don't want her to let Electro use her ult, even though she's probably not going to get a turn here with the symbiote speed meter. I'd rather have the ability block for safety. There you go, she does bleed out. We got a stun, we'll throw it over here on this Colossus. And now it's autoplay time. So 3 minutes, 10 seconds on the clock. Let's see how long it takes us to get through this Colossus. We just got offense up, that's great. That's going to help speed it up a bit. Carnage ult, that's great. So this is going to be a little bit of a bad showing of the warning I gave you, because we had a bunch of abilities going into this with the offense up, so that's actually very helpful. There you go. Okay, terrible example. Took us about 30 seconds to get through them. If there's 2 of them though, and you're bouncing back and forth and they get defense up, and then they have that extra percent to resist everything, then it sucks. But we get through it. There you go. So let's check out the skill boss now. This is the last one in my lane. And this one's very, very easy. I'm going to show the full Secret Avengers. Again, when I recorded this, they're not as strong as they are now. However, I would suggest not using Fury. Now, getting the speed up on spawn is great, but it's not as much damage. If you have your Infinity Watch built, which I'm going to assume you do, throw in Gamora over Fury, and then have the rest of Secret Avengers with Kestrel, and it's going to absolutely crush. That's what I use, and I can beat this node with like 2.5 minutes left. It's pretty insane. So we get the troopers out, and what we want to do is we want to focus out Doom. So I use the Kestrel special on the Doom over there, but I turn over, and what I try and do is I try and peel everything off Ebony Maw and put the stun on him. I didn't have Sharon's ultimate T forward when I recorded this. I do now. She strips everything off now. She lands the stun, and then you just go to town. It's much easier. But instead on this one, because I don't have that T forward yet when I recorded this, I go ahead and I Kestrel ult the Ebony. Now I would actually just use that to finish off the Doom. And this is where the troopers really earn their paycheck. They just proc that Kestrel passive over and over and over again. And this is actually where Fury does kind of help out a lot, because if he has spread Kestrel offense up and it's not her turn, then on her passive she is hitting with offense up, which is very helpful, as opposed to when she clears it after using her abilities, right? But anyway, so we're on full auto at this point, because with all these summons it sometimes takes longer than you'd like to get through this. Very interesting that Sharon's camo is red from the Shield Operative. So after Doom, it's Ebony, and then it's Cyclops. The reason we go Cyclops before Psylocke drops in is because she's going to give him evade and counter. We just don't want to deal with that. We'd rather have the X-Men out of the way. Same thing with the Fantastic Four here. We want to not attack Reed Richards, as annoying as his stun and his ultimate are. We'd rather kill She-Hulk first, because if we're just hitting Reed Richards, then he's going to keep, or She-Hulk is going to keep spreading her passive at us, and that's annoying. So we're still on full auto, we're just smart targeting. We want to get Psylocke on for the reason I said before. You don't want her throwing those debuffs back at you. A little bit of waste of the Kestrel special there, but that's okay. The death proofs that Maria gives her troopers are really clutch here. So when Proxima drops in, we will hard swap to Proxima. There you go. We don't really want her to land the offense down, which she probably will anyway here. Yeah, she gets the offense down, but not on Kestrel, who's the most important. She is the only damage dealer in this team. When you have Gamora, Gamora is the second best damage in the team, and it goes a lot faster. See, we're already at 2 minutes left. We still have 8 people. We have so many minions, and although Kestrel passive is great, sometimes you do run out of defense down targets to attack, and then those minions are just eating up your turn meter like crazy. So there goes Proxima. She didn't get to use her ult. That's great. Captain Sam gives us a bunch of speed. Incredible. We're going to clear all those debuffs with Maria's ult. I love Maria Hill. She's such a great character. Great addition. And there you go. We got a bunch of defense downs out there now because of Sharon Carter's special. I love that special. And what I should do now is not target She-Hulk, which you see I'm now targeting Mystique. And the reason for that is Kestrel pings do not give She-Hulk charges, so we're not worried about her passive flinging it back at us. So there you go. The minions are doing their thing, causing Kestrel to use procs, which is great, but the time is still ticking. As you see, my Kestrel actually has no buffs right now. There's a trooper beside her that makes it look like she has buffs, but she did not. She had offense up for that attack, but it does drop off after, right? So that's why Fury kind of helps by giving her offense up not on her turn, and then her passive is doing more. But this comp absolutely works. And you see I've had it on full auto the whole time. We just ran tight on time, which is why I think Gamora is much better than Fury. You can't replace Maria. Maria's heals and dispels are way too valuable. There you go. We finished with 16 seconds left, but take my word for it, I clear it much faster now. So you guys, that's the middle lane. I'll try and get the tech lane in at some point, but that's all the bosses in Doom 1.1. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I don't know what I'll do next. Probably I'm going to try and find my way to that tech node for sure, and then I'm going to try and one-shot these nodes. My Astonishing X-Men and my Symbiotes all have all the ISOs they need to go to level 3, and I think I might be able to push for the one-shot on both of those with extreme focus and that extra damage on the Striker Skirmisher combos. We'll see. I will, of course, keep you guys informed and upload that video as soon as I get it done. So, hey guys, take care, have fun, have a good weekend, and I'll see you later. Peace.